All right. I don't know if it will works. Let's see and wait if there are people that want to join the live. And after I will start right away. I have a lot of different things I want to talk today. So we'll take a look at the past 2 weeks, what happened on the financial news on the financial market as well, and we're gonna take a look at that. I have many different things that I want to talk to you about this, and we will take the time tonight to take a look at it. So let's just wait and see if there are many others people. And after I will start with my first actuality. All right, perfect. Well, right now, what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna start with my first actuality. If you guys want to just join the live, sometimes I'm posting all my lives and what are the dates and when am I doing live streams on my different social media. So don't you can actually follow them on Instagram or Twitter. Presently, I'm trying to create a Facebook page to also communicate with that media, but at the moment you can follow me on Instagram or Twitter if you want to be aware of all the different lives / videos that I'm going to do in the future. Plus I'm also posting mainly on Instagram some different financial stuff, so if you want to see them you can also check it out. So I'm gonna start first because it's been I think 2 or 3 weeks since I haven't made a live stream. So maybe this live stream will length 1 hour tonight. And if you have any comments, as I told you earlier, just don't worry and ask them to me into the live streams, and I will answer it. So the first actuality that I wanted to talk with you guys is the Coca-Cola saga that happened with Ronaldo's. So I don't know if some of you guys are some football / soccer fans, but if you are, you probably knew that since I think 2 weeks ago, the Euro recently started, and one of the big sponsors from this event is Coca-Cola. And what actually happened with this brand is the fact that Ronaldo in one press conference just decided to kind of took the bottle of Coca-Cola and hide them because he thought that Coke is not a great example for the kids, and it's not a good example and a good brand for the kids that want to be really sportive and that wants to succeed into that field. So it had a really big impact because how it works and what is the importance of marketing and of sponsorship into the sports and for those big events is pretty crucial, because they are basically giving a certain amount of money into, for example, the Euro, but in exchange they want the competition, and in this case it's the Euro in Europe. They want them to promote their brand to increase the value of the company and at the same time the stock value of the companies. So what happened basically, I will show you, is it's that Cristiano Ronaldo with Coca-Cola. I'm gonna share with you what happened. It's actually that over here you see that usually you have some I don't know if we can see it well. Okay, you have all the different sponsors that are behind the press conference, and usually they pay a certain amount of money in exchange of this publicity. And what is the case in that, well, in this scenario, is that Ronaldo just took the 2 bottles and hid them and showed water instead of it, and the impact of it is a loss into the market capitalization of Coke of more than $4 billion in only a few hours followed the event. because obviously what is the I'd say the impact of such an act is that the people will see Coca-Cola as being like, I'd say, like a brand that is not great for sportive, and people could see some fear into that. So they lost more than 1.6, which is not too bad, but it's 1.6% of their market cap. So they lost 4 billion in value that when this event happened. If we take a look, I'm gonna go take a look at Coca-Cola to share with you. Okay, and if we go to like 5 days ago, I think it was actually in the 8th June or something. It's maybe in the 8th June or around that point. So I don't know if it's there or somewhere, or maybe there. Well, one of those 2 dates. Well, you see that the stock actually dropped a little bit, and right now it's around $55, and I don't want to do any analysis on that stock, but it's just about, I wanted just to talk about this event and share with you what is the impact of marketing into nowadays society, and how it is important for example, sponsors and for different companies to just share all their brand, and to try to increase the value of the company by sharing to the world their brand. And in that case, it didn't work because Ronaldo actually just boycott the company. So that was the first actuality. I don't want to talk too much about it anymore because it's just a funny funny anecdote that I think in my case. After it, the second actuality that I wanted to talk with you is concerning the inflation. So for the inflation, basically, what is it? Basically, the inflation is the cost of living, so the increase or the reducing of the cost of living, or also it could be considered as the power of buying by the individuals. So for example, it means that if I say that the inflation increase of 5% or of 2%, it means that the cost of living will increase of 2%, and technically you will lose some value of buying, and you will lose some power of buying of 2% or 5%. And I'm just gonna take a look where, okay. So what actually happened with the inflation, how it works also, it's that the government will be the ones that will decide what is the inflation for the years that happened. And the latest result came out for 2020, and it came out I think 2 weeks or 1 week ago. I think it was on Thursday, and the inflation came out as expected, pretty high. I think it was around 5%, which jumped 5%. I don't know if we can find it, but I think it was around 5.6%. And what is the impact of the inflation? Basically, it will make that it will cost you more money to go buy some different things. For example, if you want to go at the supermarket, buy some different groceries, well, it will cost you maybe like 3, 4, 5% of more to buy the same grocery as 1 year ago. And this was explained a lot by the fact that in the past year, the inflation increased because we have been into a crisis where government had a lot of debt, so they accumulate a lot of debts, and at the end of the day, obviously they are printing money, and printing money, it makes that when you print more money and more money, it makes the value of money devaluate, so you lose some value of your money if you have more money. I don't know if you can understand, but it's like the factor of the scarcity of it, and that's what makes the money, for example, lose some value compared to, for example, the Bitcoin. That is something, as I told you in my latest video, the Bitcoin on this side, it's I think 21 million that is available, and it's only gonna be 21 million in the world forever. So there's not going to be like a more you can't print Bitcoin, you know. So there's the scarcity impact, and that's why if you, like, for example, take one Bitcoin and you hold it, well, nobody can come and just say, well, your one Bitcoin, we're gonna just create another one just to reduce the value of yours. So that's the impact of Bitcoin. But on the side of money and with the inflation, the governments decided to print the money and try to I'd say just print more money because they had so much debt. And for example, when they were giving check and the stimulus check to the people to help them, well, they accumulate their debt, obviously. So that's mainly why the inflation came out, and that's why also on the stock market side, many specialists would say that there is like a potential readjustment that could happen on the stock market due to the inflation. And that's why personally I am being careful at the moment on where I am investing, because if you want to have some great value where you invest in time of inflation, you have three big value. Well, you have many big value that you can invest, but there is three main that I have in mind. First, the gold. Gold is also that there is the factor of scarcity, but gold is a great inflation protector with silver. And there's also the real estate. So real estate is pretty interesting when the inflation goes up, because the real estate will follow the inflation. So usually, for example, if as everything, if the cost of living increase of 5%, let's say your property or your different real estate or properties will also increase and will follow the inflation. So that's super interesting on that side, I would say. After it, well, that's pretty much it, I would say, for the inflation. I'm not gonna go too much into it, but yeah, just know that the inflation came out, and what is important to understand is that the inflation really increased a lot compared to the past years, because of the pandemic and because that the government were a lot in debts and they had a lot of different problems. So they needed to just print more money, which also made the inflation climb up. And that's pretty much it for it. We're gonna pass to our next actuality. So now, before to talk about the crypto in detail, because you know me, like I like to talk about crypto, but I also wanted to take a little to give you a little actuality news. I'd say that it could be adjust to the financial market, but also to the global actuality. But the G7, for those who wouldn't know, the G7 recently had its meeting. I think it was in Great Britain. So for those who wouldn't know, the G7, it is about the seven biggest economical strength in the world. Right now, it's not necessarily the seventh biggest strength because China is not into it, and I think that actually, yes, China and Russia are not into it. So technically, it's not necessarily the seven biggest, but it's some of the biggest biggest financial countries in the world. And in those kind of big meetings, sometimes they talk a lot about financial actuality and financials stuff. So it could be a great idea for you to check out if it interests you. I'm not gonna talk about it, but just for your personal knowledge, I'd say it's something that recently happened. So you can check it out and do your own personal research if you want. But there has been this big event that recently happened 2 weeks ago, I think, or 1 week ago. So it will obviously have an impact on the financial global economy, because sometimes the leaders and the governments are the ones that will and that has a lot of power to decide about different things. So now I'm gonna just take a look with you guys about some stocks and what is the impact of it and what happened. I wanted to check out with you guys some really fire stock at the moment, so AMC, BB, GME. I'm gonna take a look with you guys. I'm just gonna take if I have any. Okay, no comments. So I'm gonna take a look. First, I will start with AMC. For those who are looking forward to invest into the stunk stocks, so AMC. So for AMC, let's check out this. All right, so we're gonna put it on the 1 year chart. Personally, I've entered into AMC. I've tried to short it when it was into. Can I go back? Okay, when we were into January at the beginning of 2020, I've decided to short it, which was pretty positive for me. I did some profit and I quit it because, you know, like sometimes it's good when you take some profits. In my case, you can never really lose when you grab your profits, but sometimes when you wait too much time, that's the moment when you can lose some value. So I've did some great profit around January when it was the first increase and the first that the people were trying to do the first how do you call it? I don't know how to call it in English, but the first, well, actually the first big increase, you know, like when it increased a lot, the first I forget the name, but it's not important. What happened basically is they tried to boost the price of AMC in January, just to try to cause a big candle to go up in value with the Wall Street bets. So the first phenomenon, because right now we are like in the second phases of it. So the first phenomenon happened in mid January, so and also at the start of February. So at that case, people basically were trying to beat the hedge funds by buying it when the hedge fund had some options on it. So it kind of worked to a certain point, and the stock climbed up to, I think, around $17-18 if my memories are good. After the stock went to its normal and to its average price around $8-7 per share, because when you take a look at 5 years ago, the stock, you see that with the pandemic, because AMC basically what it is like a big cinema and a big cinema industry. So I think it's a brand that is a lot into the USA, if I'm not wrong. Into Canada, here in Quebec, we don't really have AMC, but in the USA, AMC is a I'll search it to be sure, but if I'm not wrong, AMC, yeah, it's theaters, so it's like some cinemas company into the USA, so it's a big brand. And obviously the pandemic impact had a huge impact on it, and it you see that it decreased of value. But since a lot of times now, since around 2016 2017, the stock was losing a lot of its value, so it was around $30 $25 probably, around those areas. And in 2020 it went back to like $4 or $5 per share. But now what is interesting, and personally I wouldn't enter into it, but I kind of like to just see it. You see the global pattern over here. You see that it was really decreasing, but the people tried to pump that up, and it had like a really positive impact for people that obviously buy it, and that buy it low and that are here. But right now you see that it's, if I go back to a chart of like 5 days, you see that right now the stock is there's a lot of volatility onto the market concerning the stocks, because people are trying to short it, and that's the danger of it, I'd say, because I saw a lot of people trying to just go and put their life savings or put a lot of money into it. Personally, I wouldn't do that because of the fact that there's too much volatility, and it's pretty it's pretty hard to predict what's gonna happen with the stocks. You know, right now it's around $55. It could go maybe to $100, but it could go back as well into $10-15 maybe. So you can lose a lot of value into it. So basically, I wouldn't invest into it, and I'm not a day trader. So if I was like a great day trader, maybe I would just take a chance to invest into it. But you see that there's a lot of volatility into those kind of stocks, and it's the same for BB and GME. It's always the same. There's a lot of risk, you know, like I saw different articles back in January and February, and one really hit me hard. It was, I think, teenagers that just put all his life saving into, I think it was at that time GME. And with at that time, basically what happened in January/February, at the beginning of the year, I think it was Robinhood that decided like to block all the transaction on that stock, which made the stock lost a lot of value, and people were panic selling. So basically the stock was around $15 maybe, around those areas, but yeah, after it, you know, like people panic sell and the stock went back to $5. So the teen in question just suicide, and I saw that its parent were trying to sue Robinhood and AMC, but at the end of the day, you know, it's pretty risky. Like it's kind of playing with fire. So personally, if I would try to short it, for example, or to try to do some profit with it, I would put a small amount into it, but not all my life savings. And I would be careful, because you've seen like the big increase already happened over here, but right now the stock is really staying in those areas. So between maybe 45, 50 and 65, around those areas, and it's not really moving a lot. And you see the average over here just is almost staying the same right now. So I'd be careful with those stocks, and it's the same with, as I told you, BB. It's the same with BB. You see, it's the same phenomenon that happened in January/February and into June, but at that time it was reversed. So in January it increased more than what it happened into June, and right now it's really decreasing. And for GME, I think it's the same. So I think that people right now are more focusing on AMC than on GME, and more into BB as well. So it's the same for GME. It went almost to $500 per share, and it dropped back to $50 per share. So big loss. And right now it went to 300, and right now you see that it's decreasing a lot with the moving average over here. So be careful. Basically, what I'd say to you guys, and what Warren Buffett said about people that were trying to get rich fast, it's that most people are losing more than they are earnings, and that's the same for day traders, and that's why I'm not a day trader. More than 80% of people are losing money. So there's 80% of day traders that are losing money, 10% that are even on their money, so they are not making money and they are not losing money, and you have 10% that are making money, but on that 10% there's only maybe 1 or 2% that is able to do a lot of money. So that's pretty risky, and that's not about like the global population, but about the day traders and the people that are doing day trading. So be careful about that, and always be fearful when others are greedy, and be greedy when others are fearful. So that's gonna be a great sentence to go to my next subject, which is the cryptocurrency. So we're back into the cryptocurrency. Just gonna take a look here. Do we have, okay, we have nothing no comments, so I'm gonna continue. And if you have any comments, don't don't worry, you can let me know in the comment section. Just use the chat and ask me all your comments slash suggestion if you want me to check out any stocks as well. You can let me know into the chat. Now for the Bitcoin is something really special, you know. So it's like a roller coaster. So basically, first of all, we're gonna take a look at let's take a look at the Bitcoin. So for the past month, let's see what happened precisely. So Bitcoin, I'm gonna take this one. I guess it's not this one. Okay, crypto here. Okay, Bitcoin. All right. So in US dollars. So since the past month, so we see the Bitcoin is really volatile. Like we can see it over here. So what happened? Actually, it was at 60,000. So that's back into May, but at that point it was pretty high. You know, when it was around $60,000 US, it was super high. And it's always the same principle. You never try to buy when it's too high and when people are too optimistic about that. And when people are fearful, as I told you before, when people are scared, I'd say, about Bitcoin or about different stocks or anything, but you have trust into it and you did your research, well, that's the time to buy. And right now it's, I'd say, a great time to start the position or add to a position or average down, and that's what I'm doing personally, but I will explain it to you later on. So it was around 1 year ago. Okay, so you see the Bitcoin, I'm gonna close that. Just 1 year ago it was only at $10,000 around that point, $12,000. So it really increased a lot with the pandemic, during the pandemic, like around Christmas and around those times, and it increased. Its highest point was around $60,000 US, which is very high, I think, for the moment, because you need to understand that right now, as I told you in my last video on Bitcoin and on crypto, the governments are not fully into Bitcoins, and that's going to be something I will present to you soon, because China has, and people, I don't understand. I will just do a little anecdote, but I don't understand people that are not considering China as a big country into the financial world, because they are right now, in my personal point of view, they are the biggest financial power country in the world right now. So they had a big impact, and that's what we're gonna see right now. So the crypto was around maybe 50,000 US, 55,000 US. It dropped back to around 40,000, 35,000. And what is interesting is that around, I think it was around the beginning of June, we had El Salvador, which is a country into the South America, that was the first country that adopted the Bitcoin as an official currency. So we're gonna just take a look at it. I don't know if I okay, I'm gonna take a look at crypto. Just gonna take a look with you guys. Okay, so they were the first country to make it a legal tender. So basically they were the first one to say, we are gonna use Bitcoin into our economy. So they are, like, I'd say I could say that they are like the first country, so the father of all the country into adopting the Bitcoin. And that's pretty positive for the Bitcoin, because they came out with something that could solve the problem of the electricity. Because for those who don't know, Bitcoin takes a lot of electricity or of energy to be able to mine it. You know, it takes a lot of energy. But they came out with the idea to use the energy from the volcano. So I'm not gonna go in detail with this type of energy because I'm not like a scientist with that, but basically they wanted to use the volcano energy to be able to mine the bitcoins, which is something that I find pretty interesting. And because they are the first country to adopt it as a legal tender, I think that it will maybe open the field to other countries to join maybe the parties sooner or later. And I think that's a big step towards being like a really big actor. Well, it's a big step for the Bitcoin to become a big actor into our financial world, because I think that all the cryptocurrency, but I'm always talking about the Bitcoin because it's like the main entity that will lead all the other smaller cryptocurrencies like Ethereum, ADA, Polygon, or etc. So the Bitcoin has been accepted as a currency there, and now maybe some others countries will follow. But now we have the China, which is our dear Chinese friend. The government decided, well, first of all, they said, and they were saying to people that they wanted to ban the Bitcoin. So recently, I think 3 weeks ago, China was saying that they wanted to ban the Bitcoin itself. So the impact of it, it made like the Bitcoin dipped. So sometimes there's some dips like that. So often those kind of dips over here and over here are caused by some event, like maybe like Elon Musk tweets, like over here maybe it's like Elon Musk tweets that he wanted to stop using Bitcoins for Tesla. And maybe this one is, I think it was due to the Chinese government that was saying that they wanted to ban the Bitcoin. But you see, after dips, what happened usually is that the value of Bitcoin and of crypto and even of stocks just increase straightforward. So right now, what is interesting is that it's the same. And what is explaining this event, basically, since I think 3 or 4 days ago, China was saying that they were gonna ban the miners, so the people that mine the Bitcoin. So that had an impact to right now made the Bitcoin falls of more than 10%, because China is using I'd say all their influence to make the value of Bitcoin falls. And what happened with that is that sometimes people will try to panic sell, and that's, in my case, it's not the great the best things to do, because when you are losing some value into for example a stock or into a crypto, it's the moment when people are panicking selling. So they are seeing it red. So when it goes down, it's red. So people sometimes they try to sell when it's going down, but it's not the great time. And as I told you earlier, when others are fearful, be greedy, and when others are greedy, be fearful. So I think that's a great opportunity. Personally, I see it like that. It's a great opportunity to buy at the moment, and I personally think it might go lower than $30,000 US, probably sooner or closer. But I don't see the Bitcoin goes lower than 20,000 US dollars, and I don't think that it will go back to, for example, $10,000 US. But I could see it pretty closely and in the like near future. So maybe in the 1 or 2 years, I could see the Bitcoin goes easy to $100,000 per Bitcoin pretty sooner or closer, because we've seen that in January it was already at 60,000 before it dipped, because obviously Bitcoin historically always like it's dipping pretty often. So I could make, okay, I don't like these kind of graphics, but I don't know if I can use, I'm trying to use trading view, but sometimes it's kind of lagging. But historically the Bitcoin dips almost every year. So there's some dip, like here we see that it's the same pattern over here. So over this period, so the beginning of 2021 and right now we've seen that there's always some dip, and after the dips, as I told you, it increases of value. So right now we are into a big dip. Like here, there's a big dip since 1 week, and that's the time for me to, and you see that right now it's even started to re-increase, because I've did bought a little bit over here around 32,000 I think, and right now it's already back to almost 33,000. So it come back, you know. So personally, that's what I'm trying to do with Bitcoin, and also Ethereum, and also ADA, and also Polygon. And also something that I wanted to share with you guys, for those who are some crypto holders that want to hold your cryptos and not only just buy the dip and stuff like that, you can try to stake your coins. So for those who don't know what is the staking crypto, basically it's to be able to, okay, well, it's in French. So basically it's the fact to, for example, let's say I'm staking 10 Ethereum. So I'm going to take those 10 Ethereum. Let's, for example, say that I'm staking those 10 Ethereum on a 30 days period. It means that I will take those 10 Ethereum on, and that I will be earning, let's say, 5% APY, which is 5% annually. So you will earn 5% annually, but if you stake them for 1 month, well, you divide your 5% by 12, which will give you your interest that you will make. But I'd say, what is the disadvantage of it, or what is the bad point of it, is that you can't really sell your crypto. So if you lose a value, if your crypto is losing a value, well, if you're a seller, well, you can't lose. So you're just gonna earn some passive income with it, and that's really the beauty of staking coins, and that's what I am personally trying to do right now with the coins that I have trust into. So you can stake all the coins you want. Personally, I'm really focusing mainly on the coins that I have trust into, like coins like that I have trust into, or like Bitcoin, Ethereum, ADA, and Polygon. Those are my four, I'd say that my four cryptos that I'm watching at the moment, that I have the trust, that I have the most trust into. After, I'm starting to try to look at XRP, Litecoin, and that's pretty much it right now, because I don't want to go too deep into Bitcoin, into cryptos, because there are so many cryptos, you can just lose yourself. So if you want to stake, my personal point of view on that is to try to stake some coins that you know that will gain value in the future. So that's pretty much it about the cryptos. I don't know if you guys wanted also to show that that you wanted me to show to analyze some different stocks. I'm gonna take a look at my others actuality. So yes, Salvador, we talk about it. The problems with the energy, so we talk about it as well. The China that kick the Bitcoin miners, we talked about it as well. We talked about Cristiano Ronaldo, that with the Coca-Cola saga that made the 4 billion lost. We talked briefly about the G7, as I told you. Also, guys, the crypto market, Salvador, the inflation as well, and AMCBB, we talk about that as well. And guys, for those people, also I wanted to share with you guys something. For those people that are not understanding the market cap and its impact on the value of a stock, or even on the value of a crypto, I will share with you an interesting fact, because sometimes I saw people thinking about, for example, Dogecoin, that is presently worth, I don't know how much it's worth, but some people are thinking that Dogecoin, for example, could go to maybe $10 or something like that, or maybe $100. I saw some people thinking really that this kind of crypto could go to $100 per coins. But you know, there is the factor that is called the market capitalization, and that's the same in the stock market and in the crypto market. So the value of it and the value of money that is into it. Obviously, when you have your stocks, you know, for example, you invest into Facebook, well, it's the value of Facebook, the company Facebook. If you invest into the Bitcoin, it's different. It's the value that people are putting into the Bitcoin, because the crypto, it's all, as I told you in my last video, it's all the people that will give value to the cryptos in general. So people, if I want to buy a lot, well, if there are more buyers and sellers, the crypto will take value. Obviously, that's for sure. But it's the opposite. So when in the other case, so if there are more sellers than buyers, well, the crypto will lose value. So basically, I don't know if we see it on TradingView, or we're gonna go take a look. Crypto market cap. Maybe we're gonna find it over here. I think here maybe. Yeah, okay. So the market capitalization, just for you guys to see it right now, total market cap and volume. Okay, so this is for the total crypto market. So right now it's around 1.30 trillion dollars for the market cap. If you remember well, in my last video, Bitcoin, I think it was worth around 800 billions or something like that. So maybe around half of it, so half of the market capitalization of all the crypto. So it's really the main crypto. But you see 1.29 trillion dollars, it's lower than, for example, I think it's Apple, the biggest one. Cap. Apple. Let's see. Yeah, so you see it's lower than Apple. Apple right now, which I think is the company that has the biggest market capitalization, is around 2.21 trillion dollars. But when you take Bitcoin, right now the price is around, I think, 30,000 US dollars, and maybe it's around $700 billion of market cap. But for example, Bitcoins to go to 1 billion, well, its market cap would be of like many trillions of dollars. So we are really far from it. So you need to understand what is the impact of the market cap on the stocks, but also on the crypto. This is super important, because it's a principle that is applying also on the crypto, not only on the stock market. So if you understand that, as soon as you understand that, as soon you're going to be able to understand the possibility of a certain crypto. Because I don't know if we can see, mettons, for ADA, can we see its market cap? I don't think we can on that. Oh, maybe on financials. Market cap. Maybe I just pass it. But anyways, like it's the price is the same. For example, for ADA right now, its price is around maybe $1.30 per share. But for it to go to 100, maybe it means that the market cap will need to like multiply by 1,000 or something like that. But what are the chances, that this kind of things happen? For smaller cryptos, sometimes there are some chances, but for most of the small cryptos, sometimes it's what I call the shit coins or stuff like that are the cryptos that people are just trying to pump the value of those crypto. And I am on Discord personally, and I always receive some invitation of people that are trying to pump cryptos, but sometimes it's almost always a scam, because people are basically trying to pump the crypto. For example, here you see that it's increasing. They're trying maybe to pump the crypto, but when people have pumped enough the crypto, they are selling and they are making the crypto lose a lot of value. So that's pretty dangerous for people that are believing them. So that's pretty much it, I'd say. What's up, what's up, guys? I think that there's a lot of people on the stream. I'm happy about that. I'm just gonna take a look at what I add much more. So AMC, inflation, crypto. We talked pretty much about everything. I'm just gonna check out globally the stock market right now. So we're gonna take a look at some. Let's take a look at the Dow Jones. Can we have it on here? It's pretty funny. TradingView is pretty nice for those who wants like some indicators and that wants to do day trading. I think that with TradingView, it's pretty interesting because you can add some indicators. For example, personally, I'm always using the moving average. So I'm using the moving average, and sometimes you have like Fibonacci you can use. So there is some indicators, for example, for the volume of the stocks. For the volume of the stocks, also sometimes about what is the trend of the stocks. The moving average is pretty good for that. You see what is where the stock is heading to, I'd say. So right now you see that we are with Doge, so you see that the moving average is lower than what is the price right now. So it means that the price is higher than what is the average of the increase of the crypto. So that's pretty good. So there's a lot of indicators, and I'm not gonna talk about it. So as I told you, I'm not a day trader. So if you want guys to analyze some different stocks / crypto, you can use TradingView. That's pretty cool. I'm not used to it a lot right now, but I'm just using it more to be more good with it. So do we have the Dow Jones? Think we don't, so we're gonna take it on Google on Yahoo Finance. So for the Dow Jones right now, you see that, let's take a look. It's like on a downgrade pattern right now. You see many stocks are overvalued. Like if you want me to check out some stocks, there are also some stocks that are still undervalued, but there's a lot of stocks at the moment that are still overvalued. One stock personally I'm taking a look at is Alibaba. It's Baba. We're gonna take a look at Alibaba because right now Alibaba, it's the same for, I'd say it's the same for NEO, but sometimes people are scared of the Chinese stock that are on the Chinese stock market because of the political risk from it. You know that because sometimes when you buy stocks that are like on other stock market that are like on different political regime, there are some risk. So Alibaba is one of it. Right now it's super undervalued, but the problem is that you need to understand that there is a risk to it because Alibaba, it's been quite some times that it's undervalued, So I'm gonna take a look on TradingView. We're gonna keep with TradingView. So Baba, Alibaba. So here you see it. Alibaba is a great stock, but right now we can see pretty well that the stock is on a downtrend side. So it's going wait, okay, yeah, 1 year. Okay, so it's really on a downtrend side, and right now it's around $210 US. But it's still super undervalued when we take a look at the indicators and at the result from it, because Alibaba is at, if I remember well, it's the biggest consumer web platform to buy. For example, it can be compared to Amazon, but I think that, if I'm not wrong, Alibaba has even higher revenue than Amazon. But the thing is that right now the stock is super undervalued when you take a look at the different ratios. So the P ratio is of 24, which is pretty low. So that's a pretty good news. So the P ratio is the price per earning ratio. So that's pretty good. You see the market cap is pretty huge, almost $600 billion. So that's pretty huge, this company at the moment. And also the earnings per share are not too bad as well. So however, the beta is quite low. I don't know if you remember, but when the beta of a company is higher than 1, it's super good news. If the beta usually is in negative, it's really bad news. But when it's like between 0 and 1, it's like some good news, but not that good, you know. So the beta is the risk of the market. So how does the company is expected to perform in the future, planning depending on the market on which it operates. So right now it means that it's like good, but it's not like excellent. The beta is not super great. So that's explained a lot by the fact that it's on like a downtrend side, as I told you. And that's, you see, the 1-year target estimation is like around $300 per share. So that would be an increase of like more than a third of it, like, so, and a growth of around 30% just for this year. So you can try to sometimes just to go and do some big hit, like I call it like some home run or some stuff like that, like try to buy some undervalued stocks like that, and maybe that could work. So personally I did bought some little bit of Alibaba, but not too much, because you know you need to be careful, and sometimes you need to variate your risk and just diversify your risk. So right now the stock obviously is undervalued, but will it go back to 300 or will it go back like to 150? There's a risk. So you can do your research, but personally this is one of the biggest stock in my opinion that is undervalued at the moment. Another one is Facebook, obviously, that has increased a lot. I've bought around 270 back 3 months ago or something like that, you know, around those places. Yeah, 270 around around March, and right now it's around 330. So I did some great 30% maybe of profit on that, and just by seeing the indicator, it still is undervalued. Facebook, you see the market cap is pretty high. It's equal to the market cap of the Bitcoin, so that's pretty a great market cap for Facebook. The beta is pretty positive as well. The P ratio is not too high, and you have some great earnings as well. The danger with Facebook, I saw recently that there were some news, I think, about the security of Facebook, and sometimes, you know, like Facebook, it's not a secret for anyone that Facebook, Instagram, and because Instagram is linked to Facebook and other social medias, and also overall on your computer, for example, they are using your data to use them against you. I'll say it like that, but use it to, for example, try to sell some different stuff to you while using your preferences. So like Facebook is also a company that wants to grow, and sometimes there is some, like, you know, like all the big companies, they are not necessarily doing all some I don't know how to say it in English, but some normal stuff. But you know, personally, I see it like as an undervalued stock as well, and I think that the stock has a lot of growth potential into the future if we see the analysis and the earnings estimations, you know. So yeah, the revenue estimation, you see, for the average estimation for the current years, it's around 115 billion, and it's already to 150 billions that is estimate for the next year, and the earnings are to increase. Do we have the the growth estimation? You see, there is some pretty big growth estimation. Obviously, it's always some estimation for the current quarter, so 67%, 8% for the future. So you have all the estimation over here, but personally I would see Facebook goes to maybe $670-$700 around 2025, 2026. That's my personal I'd say estimation, and I'm just holding to the stock because I've trust into it. Facebook, who in the chat could tell me that you're not using Facebook or that you're not using Instagram? I don't think that there's a lot of people that would be the same with YouTube. If you're watching me at the moment, it's because you're using YouTube, and that's because Google also, I think, if I'm not wrong, I think Google own YouTube, but I'm not too sure. But anyways, like, those are some big pillars. Like I remember back in 2012, 2011, when I was like 13 years old and I created Facebook, I didn't predict that Facebook would become such a big media and that more than like 2 billion people would use that all around the world and to communicate and use it to communicate between all the different people. So that's, for me, Facebook is there to stay, and I think that maybe it will decline with time, but at the moment we are still in a place where Facebook will have an impact, just like Apple. It's the same for Apple. Apple is a company that maybe in the future will decrease, I think, but at the moment they still have some great ideas with I think they wanted to develop some EV vehicles to do some competition to Tesla. And honestly, Tesla, what scares me about that is the owner. So Elon Musk has some great danger, but a possibility, because I could see him pretty dangerous by the fact of he's using his tweets and his power with his tweets to influence a lot of people, and many people just follow him blindly, which impact overall all the financial industry, all the financial world, because all the economy, because people are putting some money. Sometimes they are losing money and they just panics and they are angry at Elon Musk. So sometimes I think that not talking to say some useful things are better than just trying to pump people and telling them anything. So that is not that is nonsense. So personally, that's why Tesla right now, I'm kind of hesitating to invest into this kind of company. But for Facebook, Google, Amazon as well. Amazon is one company that I could see pretty well take a lot of growth in the future, because people are buying more and more on the internet, and it's really easier. But what are gonna be the big loser of that are your local shop. The people that back in the days, back 30-40 years ago, were selling different stuff to the region and to the local people. That's gonna be the big loser from Amazon, because Amazon are gonna take their part of the market and they're gonna make more money than them. So Amazon is there to stay as well, I think. Yes, all what is linked to technology, electric vehicle stuff, also health, because the population in general is getting older. So it means that the healthcare and stuff like that will increase in the future. So you need to think about that, and sometimes that will be the opposite, for example, of oil and the gas, because we are going more into the electric, into an electric century where there's more some green energy and stuff like that. So all the oil and the gas and all those kind of things, I think that like it's gonna decrease a lot in the years to come. So the companies like that need to adapt or die. So I think that's gonna be pretty much it for tonight. It's been 1 hour, so I think that's great for that. I hope you guys like that live. It was pretty. It was a big live, 1 hours of live. I think that for those who wouldn't have watched it, all the live, I invite you to just go and check it. You can check it out on YouTube as well in replay. Except that, I'd say that I'll try to do more live. Obviously, that's been like 2 or 3 weeks I haven't made like a live stream. I had so many different stuff happening in my life. Every weekend I had like literally like I had almost no time to do live stream, except like really early in the morning where I was going to the gym, so it was a little bit harder. But next weekend I can't make a live, but maybe at the beginning of next week I will be able to do a new live. I'm working a lot these days on the special weeks that is coming on the beginning of July, obviously. So at the beginning of July, is for those who don't remember, I'm gonna do a special full week of upload. So every day of the week, so probably the second week of July, I'm trying to fix my dates, but I'm gonna post a video, and it's gonna be about this a little series that I'm presently preparing. So I hope that you guys will like that. Except of that, obviously you can follow me on my different social medias, where I post many different financial stuff, but also all the dates where I'm doing my live. So you can follow me on Instagram or Twitter, and that's pretty much it. I think that yeah, that's pretty much it, guys. I hope you liked it, and I will hope to see you soon. Bye.